योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै
योगेन्द्रियाय नमस्तस्मै
योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै
योगेन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै
शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे
शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे
संसारसर्पदष्टम्
संसारसर्पदष्टम्
यो विष्णुरातं
नो विष्णुरातं
अमुमुचतु.
अमुं चतु.
So this is the exact context explaining why the Bhagavatam and who gave the Bhagavatam, to whom has it been given, and what is the experience of the person, rather the recipient of the Bhagavatam, are all well described in this in brief in Bhagavatam. Because Shuka Maharshi is a Brahma Rupin. There is much difference between Brahma and himself. He is completely fully filled with knowledge. And in fact, Shuka Maharshi, when he reached the royal king, Parikshit Maharaja, he was only 16 years old. You know, when the news came to all over the globe, all people, all Maharshis, all gods, all people have joined to express their sorrow and all that to Parikshit Maharaj, who happened to be the last of the Pandavas dynasty, and afterwards, so directly, and moreover, who has got the blessings of Krishna Paramatma to bring back to life. You know that Aswathama tried to destroy the child, the fetus in the womb, that Parikshit, and when that Uttara cried very much, then because of the grace of that Parikshit Maharaj has been born because of Krishna Anugraha. Therefore, he has been given the name Parikshit. I mean, really, it was a challenge that the broken fetus has been brought back into normalcy and delivery took place. Therefore, and moreover, when all rishis, Paramarshis, not from one area, they came from different lokas. That's what we find in the Bhagavatam originally. And all the Veg session or council was going on. At that time, little late, the Shuka Maharshi also happened to come, but nobody knew that he was Shuka Maharshi, the grandson of Vyasa Bhagavan and all that. But all are very seasoned, great Maharshis. They were not knowing about Shuka Maharshi, and therefore, the Shuka Maharshi, when he was just getting into the hall, then whoever it is, all rishis and maharshis and whoever are present there, they stood up in honor to Shuka Maharshi. And later on, they came to know who was the Shuka Maharshi, because the Shuka Maharshi, all people are only worrying. Ayo, Parikshit Maharaj is having only 7 days time, and afterwards he has to leave the world. And so everybody is very much worried, but nobody has come forward with a solution. And and moreover, he asked all Maharshis to tell him how best he can get the emancipation and no rebirth and all that. But all Maharshis were not having the solution to offer, which will be practical, because the time is very short, 7 days. You don't know, 7 nights and 7 days will pass away in no time. Therefore, it is really a great challenge that within that stipulated time, he has to be relieved from that kind of samsaric badhas and originally has been bitten by the samsara sarpa. And the samsaram, the worldly attachments and worldly life, is compared to, metaphorically, to a sarpa. Sarpa is the serpent which will crawl down. You know, sarpa has not got any feet at all. It will only crawl down, and the roughest place, the speed will be. You know, the serpent, it is, if it is thrown upon the glass sheet of glass sheet, it will not be able to move. Right? It cannot move. It will be stable. But the same serpent, when it is a rough ground, it will go very fast. Nobody can follow the speed of serpent. That's why the samsaram has been compared by Vyasa Bhagavan to the serpent. So the serpent nature is being attributed. And moreover, serpentine means vakragatihi. The samsaram is always not straight. Vakragati in a sense that it is very much distance, and moreover, there are turns, twists, and so on and so forth. Therefore, samsaram will never run smooth. Something like the course of love cannot run smooth. That's why it is always vakraha pantha. So the samsara sarpa is that is samsara the sarpa. So metaphorically, and everybody is dashtam. Dashtam means everybody is stung by that, small or big or major or minor, whatever be that. Everybody is in the samsara, which is sarpagati, which is not straightforward. In that kind of time, who is the example? That is Vishnu Rata. Vishnu Rata is Parikshit Maharaj. Vishnu Rata, what he did, Amum Chato, he just helped him to get rid of the samsaric dukkha and get emancipation. Therefore, samsara sarpadashtam. And who is the Sukha Maharshi? Yogindraya. We have to understand this. This will be Bhagavatam for us. Yogi is just ordinary yogi, and Indra is Shrestha. Among all yogis, he is called Yogindra. So he is very much closer and almost the same like Brahmadeva. Brahma is very much repository of knowledge, and there is no depth of knowledge, and he is knowledge, he is Gnana Swarupaha. So Brahma is Veda, Brahma is knowledge, and Yajna, Brahma has got so many meanings. So Brahma Rupine Yogindraya, and is a Sukha Maharshi. The word Sukha is a parrot, and whatever parrot is something that it will just be a carbon copy. Whatever you utter, it utters back, it pronounces back. Therefore, Sukha Maharshi is simply a Brahmagnani. He will not go beyond what Brahma intends to for the sake of the knowledge. Therefore, Sukha Maharshi, Brahma Rupya, and he is a Yogindra, and he is the Yoginam, Parama Yoga. So that that Sukha Maharshi, to him Tasmai Sukaya Brahmare Namaha. So what is the maximum output that Sukha Maharshi came forward? He was the only one here who said, in 7 days, I will complete the entire vibhuti of Sri Krishna Paramatma. That's really a great challenge, because Krishna is an ocean. So that's why we call Samudra Narayanaha. The Narayana is Samudram. That is, he is oceanic in knowledge and everything. So that kind of ocean has got to be brought into the folds or into the hand of this Parsi, that he will be getting the mukti. So why that mukti? How does he get? Because in Narayaniyam, in the Prarthana Sloka, that Bhattatiri says, Nirmuktam Nityamuktam Nigamashata Sahasraihi Sampujyamanam. So Nirmuktam. So he is a mukta. He is not attached to the trigunas. That's what in Bhagavad Gita we are all introduced that the Krishna or Bhagavan is there in the three gunas. Bhagavan is there in all people. Bhagavan is there to cause all people to get into the world and samsara. But he is Adhyaksha. He is a supervisor. He will not. Ajayamano bahudha vijayate tasya dhira parijananti yonim. So that's why dhiraha parijananti yonim. One will be able to comprehend, understand, and also realize that particular Paramatma only when he is a dhira. Kalidasa says, who is a dhira? There are a number of definitions, but one of them which Kalidasa gives is vikara hetau sati na vikrayante yeshamsi chetamsi tayeva dhiraha. Look at this beautiful definition it is. Yeshamsi chetamsi na vikriyante. Although there are hundreds of attractions, but dhiras are those who never get diverted off and attracted towards the attractions. And that means constant bhakti, unswerving bhakti, and having the target that to realize the moksha. That's why Nitya Muktam, Nirmuktam is not enough. We may be again attached. Krishna, Nitya Muktam, Nirmuktam. There is a lot of meaning between the two things. So Nitya Muktam is constantly, he is relieved of all the attachments. And Nirmuktam is totally beyond all the attachments. That's exactly what in Bhagavad Gita, wherever Krishna or Bhagavan speaks, he will be defining himself who he is. And he is so that he wants to people also to get up, to rise up to the spiritual heights, so that they will be able to taste the sweetness of the Brahma Jnanam. So Brahma Yagnam, Brahma Jnanam, Brahma and Yajna Sadhanam and all that. Therefore, today we should know this particular Bhagavatam, which is a very powerful text, is a Puranam and is a Vedanta Grantha. In other words, this particular text is called Hamsa Samhita. So Bhagavatam is a Hamsa Samhita. Hamsa is Sadashiva. Hamsa, the swan, is a very symbolic spiritual bird among birds. And that kind of culture, discipline, control, etc., which the Hamsa has got, no bird has got. Therefore, Tanno Hamsaha Prachodayat. We say Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe, Paramahamsaya Dhimahe, Tanno Hamsaha Prachodayat. Actually, those people who are yatis of top ranking nature, they will be called as a Paramahamsa. All those who are yatis are called Hamsas, but only a few elevated, realized yatis are called as Paramahamsas. Nowadays we call Ramakrishna as a Paramahamsa. And when you talk about Ramana, is a Maharshi. So we are also giving that spiritual ranking to people. Paramaharsha, Paramahamsa, Paramarushi, and like that. But Paramahamsa Swarupam is really great because they are almost next to the door of the Parama Sadashiva or Jnani. So Yogindraya Namastasmai, we are just making Namaskara to that Yogendra Sukha Maharshi, and because we cannot do more than that, because Namaskara is the best of all asanas available in the yogic science. Namaskara asana is that, that's why in Taittiriya Upanishad tells us, Tan Nama Utyupasita Pratishthavan Bhavati. So anything you want to accomplish, you should bow down yourself before, and then that will come to your yard. Namaha iti upasita bhava. Unless you go down, you cannot. So we have a number of examples in Puranas where all people have given up their personal ego or their status and consciousness, try to subdue themselves or surrender themselves, then they were able to get hold of the higher planes of happiness. And as we know that Vasudeva, the father of Krishna, had to prostrate to the feet of the donkey, kept as a watchdog by Kamsa. The donkey is allowed not to bray when Krishna was born. So that's why we talk in our Telugu that Vasudevudaina kuda గాడిద కాళ్ళు పట్టుకున్నాడు అంట. అంటే even otherwise, there is also one more beautiful joke in Sanskrit that the Marjalaha Stauti, always a cat will respect, sorry, a rat will, Ganesha will respect the cat. Why? Because Swavahasya Ganesha Stauti Marcharam Swavahasya Adhirachaya. Even Ganesha, however great he is, he will have to make praise for the Marjala, that is the cat. Because why should he do it? ఎందుకంటే తన వాహనం రక్షించుకోవడం. ఎక్కడన్నా అర్జెంటుగా వెళ్ళాలంటే వాహనాన్ని తినేస్తే మార్చాలం. If there is no vehicle, it is using danger. Therefore, he is always having lot of respect for the Marjala. Like that, here we have got that Namaskara is most important. Namaskara is a yogic asana where you will bring all your 10 fingers together and with folded hands, put it either on the head or upon your chest. So these are the two places where you keep your Sirasya Anjali Madhaya. So you will keep the Anjali over the head is one meaning, and keep your Anjali upon your chest, another meaning. So like that, we have got Namaha Tasmai Sutaya Brahmarupine. Why should you do it? Because we do not want to continue in the samsara chakra. The samsara chakra is, it goes on rotating, revolving and revolving. And in this revolving samsara chakra, we find so many good, bad and different, because sarpagati samsara chakra. So we are just making prayer that we should be not worried in the samsara chakra, but rather we should be able to elevate ourselves. For that, a great Maharshi, a Brahmagnani like Sukha Maharshi or Vyasa Maharshi or Valmiki Maharshi, so all these Maharshis, they will be able to show us. That's exactly what we want. After all, whatever stipulated time that we have been given, no time we spend it out. And we think that 100 years is long time. No, not at all. See, that's why Krishna Bhagavad Gita, I mean, in Bhajagovinda Stotram, Shankara says, Dinayaminyo sayam prataha, Sisarava santo punarayataha, Kalaha gacchati kridati ayuhu, Tadapina muntatyasha vayuhu. What a Bhajagovindam. So what a beautiful eye-opener he has made. You don't do anything. Dinayaminyo sayam prataha. The days will go by evening, morning. Likewise, the Rutus also, Shishira and Vasanta, both will alternate themselves. And so the years pass by, because year is the unit of time. So the many units of time will thus pass off, and therefore one has to have Bhaja Govindam. So that Bhaja Govindam has been explained. And we should thank that our Guru, Nadavara Subramanya Shastri, who has brought 18,000 slokas into a most important essence into 700 slokas. And these 700 slokas give us a chain of knowledge, which will ultimately take us to the emancipation. And therefore, we become more and more understanding the Krishna Bhakti. And Krishna is all that. Therefore, not talking much about the introduction portion to this Bhagavata class, which so the session, we are now today are able to note about the greatness of Sukha Maharshi and Devarata, that is Parikshit Maharaja, And ultimately, why are we going to take? We should have Manasyanti. So Manasyanti is the most important thing. See, when Paramatma comes and asks a Kannada fellow, what do you want? ఇంకేం కావాలి కోరిక చదివితే ఆ కన్నడದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ನನಗೊಂದು ಆನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡು సాకు అంట. ఆನೆ అంటే ఏనుగు తెలుగులో. ఆ మీన్స్ ఆనందం, నా మీన్స్ నెమ్మది. సో ఆనందం అండ్ నెమ్మది. ఈవెన్ ఆనందం ఆల్సో మస్ట్ నాట్ మేక్ us die. People laugh and die also. That also is a problem. Too much laughter leads to cry, leads to dukkha. No, that anandam must be such that it should give you peace of mind and happiness. And that's it. That nemmadi is called as moksha. So that kind of scope has been given by Shuka Maharshi. And who is that? He is also a Brahmagnani. And whatever Shuka Maharshi said, there is no controversy, there is no debating. It all depends upon us to follow him. Therefore, Sukha Mukhat Dalitam. Everything has come out from Sukha Mukham, from the beak of the Sukha, otherwise from the mouth of the great Maharshi. And whatever that comes from the mouth is mind. And whatever is in the mind, that will be in the speech, and whatever is the speech is the mind. Therefore, there is no much difference between the mind and speech. Therefore, Sukha Maharshi is having that kind of tallying or talk in that particular context. So with all that, let's go with the text for some time. Saraswati, where are we, Amma? Which sloka? I think
252.
222.
No,
So,
252.
pardon?
252.
Okay. So 252, but wherever the continuation is not a problem in this particular Bhagavatam, because every mantra, every sloka is independent like Vedam. All Veda mantras are like that. It is not very, but here, because of these akhyanas are there, we have to be thinking. So now we have come to the Hiranyakasipu episode, that is in the 8th skandam of Bhagavatam. We are just trying to know about Prahlada and Hiranyakasipu and Narayana coming in the form of Narasimha. You know, why? In order to destroy or kill that Hiranyakasipu, the toughest demon of demons. And therefore, his tapas is first ranking. Nobody did tapas as serious or as severe as Hiranyakasipu. Therefore, Brahma was has given 100 to 100 marks. And therefore, what he did was, he made Hiranyakasipu look normal with all that blessing. And afterwards, he asked him, and then Hiranyakasipu asked all kinds of boons. Therefore, Brahmadeva, because of his mistake of granting such boons to him, he was not able to have a person in his creation who would be able to destroy the Hiranyakasipu. So to say that Brahmadeva has to outsource somebody who can come and kill Hiranyakasipu. Therefore, when he asked Brahmadeva and all gods, and Brahmadeva went and asked, then Prahlada came, and Prahlada made a lot of prayers, and moreover, why that Narasimhavatara has to be taken by him, lion head and human. See, among the evolution of man, or man is the highest ultimate. Therefore, he has taken 50% of man body, and among animal evolution, Simham is the highest point. So he has chosen the lion head and human body because they are the highly evolved beings in the creation of animaldom or in the humandom. Therefore, he has taken the Narasimha Avatara, which was the only suitable animal Avatara, and also it will be able to produce sound, and lion sound is always highest than anybody's sound in the world, any animal sound. That's why it's a Simhanada. But elephant also is there. The elephant is called Gaja Ginkara. Ginkara is less potency compared to the Ghora and Nada produced by the lion. Therefore, actually, Narasimha Swami come out, as we have seen, with first sound comes, then Swarupam comes. So when he heard sound at first, Hiranyakasipu was just confused. Where from this kind of sound coming, which I never heard in my life at all. So he just gazed again second time. Then he saw the Narasimha Swarupam and was very odd, very odd. Then he confirmed that this odd Swarupam is only by Narayana, but nobody can come like that. He is my sworn enemy. Because he killed my brother Hiranyaksha, I got a beautiful chance to fight to finish him, so that I can have a tarpana to my brother who has been a friend killed by this Narayana. So that was the spirit and ire and anger and wrath which Hiranyakasipu entertained in him. So immediately thanked his son Prahlada and then went for fight for 1,000 days and 1,000 years. They fought each other day and night. The fight between Narasimha and Hiranyakasipu is beautifully described in the Narasimha Sahasranamam or one time, and also in the Narasimha Puranam. So there's a big Puranam talking about Narasimha Swarupam. So when afterwards Prahlada, small boy, is a Balaka Bhakta, but he was responsible for the Narasimha Swarupam of Narayana, who is always Shantakaram, Bhujagasayanam, Padmanabham, Suresam. That is the form of Narayana. He is always having a Shantakara. All gods, especially Supreme, they are always calm and peaceful, never perturbed by the disturbances available or alarming situations available in the world. Therefore, Shantakaram. Even when you talk about Shiva, same, because Shivam Shantam Jagannatham. So is a Shanta, Shiva is that Ishwara. So both fellows are very kind. But only one person who is always disturbed and agitated and disturbed is Brahma. He is by himself calm and quiet, but gods go to him. Brahma is the chief of all gods. Therefore, all gods, if they have got calamity or problem, they go to their CEO or their authority officer and submit their problem every now and then. So Brahma again goes along with them to Narayana and for solution's sake. So this is the administrative hierarchy of the divine. So divine administration. Our human administration, we know there are so much of corruption and all that. But in divine administration, it is perfect. So for perfection, you find all that. So now Prahlada, when his father has been done for, and he is a Gnani, and he was protected absolutely. Such a Gnani he was that when gods asked him, come, your work is over, come to Vaikuntham. Then Prahlada said, no, I cannot come to Vaikuntham because I have to rule the land after my father, because my father is only a person, while his friends are there, hundreds and thousands of them, like-minded rascals and Rakshasas. So I have to transform all of them, turn them to be Vishnu Bhaktas, and then only I can have some holiday in Vaikuntham. Till then, I cannot have any vacation there or holiday there. So then all gods and Narasimha Swami also told, and one more varam, then Narasimha Swami asked him, what do you want? It is in original Bhagavatam. Then he said, as you have protected all through the time when my father was torturing, giving me all sorts of troubles, same manner, in same tempo, you protect me as long as I'm a ruler. And give me that kind of bhakti to me, and then I will be able to come back to you. That's why Prahlada has been adjudged as the greatest, though he is a Rakshasa Baran, he is the greatest Bhakta. That's why whenever you think of the Daitya Bhaktas, Prahlada ranks 1. Balirvishno Bhishmaha. So Prahlada is one Vishnu Bhakta and Bali Chakravarti. Bali Chakravarti happened to be the grandson of Prahlada. No, you know, when Bali Chakravarti was tempted by his Guru Sukracharya to swerve from the word, you said you will give Bhudanam, but now this fellow is different. No, he will just destroy you totally. But he said, no, I will be spoiling the name of my grandfather Prahlada, who has done so much of work, so I will give it. And that was the only one principle that Bali Chakravarti stood on and made the Danam, entire 3 words, Bhudanam, that Bali Chakravarti did it. So all these are maybe looking as stories to us, but they are real inspirational guidance that how one can manage their life in this world. Now let's go to the text, and contextually also I'm explaining how Bhagavatam is important, because Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. And that's exactly what Krishna says in Gita. What is the goal ultimately? Not having the buildings, not having the houses, not having the riches, because all that we have got to leave and get out. In our India, they don't even keep cloth on the dead body. They remove the cloth and burn. Of course, in West, it is opposite. They decorate him with their choicest cloth, and then they send into the furnace. But in India, Bharat, known for that, there is nothing we can take. Everything we have got to leave, including the dress upon us. So like that, this Vairagyam, and that is Parakasta, and Bhagavatam gives us all that. In fact, yesterday in Bhagavad Gita Jayanti talk, that NCB Nath has given us Krishna Gitas. He has written a beautiful article there. At four places, Krishna is the character, is whatever talk, whatever speech he gave is a Tyagam. So Krishna Gitas, and is a great Tyagi par excellence. Now we go to 250. Saptasatyam Panchamodhyayah. Chapandi Pare Brahmani Anirdesye.
Pare Brahmanya Nirdeshye. Pare Brahmanya Nirdeshye.
Bhagavati Akhilatmani.
Bhagavati Akhilatmani. Bhagavati Akhilatmani.
Tatmani.
Yuktatmanya Yuktatmani.
Aphala Asan.
Apala Asan. Apala Asan.
Apunyasyeva Sakriyaha.
Punyasyeva Tatkriyaha. Apunyasyeva Tatkriyaha.
Anil Gupta ji, I will be sending this book, Bhagavad Saptati, my Guru, a e-copy for you. When I am there in Indianapolis, you can take the hard copy. So
thank you, sir. Thank you.
And hard copy there, because this is Saraswati Pramudi. She is the one who sponsored and got this book published. And that book has been circulated. And in India, it is being given. This is that Bhagavad Saptasati hard copy, consisting of about 170 pages, and it contains text, introduction, and all that. And we'll be giving the translation and all that afterwards. This is the first wrapper, and this is the back wrapper where Vishnu. So this is what is Bhagavatam. You will have the e-copy today. Only I forgot it to you.
Okay, okay, no problem. Thank
Even
you.
for Sita Tumulire also, I will be sending it to her also in the WhatsApp group. Now you see, let's Om Prahlada Uvacha.
Om Prahlada Uvacha.
Antarbhaka me sruta.
Hantartha bhake me shunata.
Srunuta.
Hanta.
Arbhaka me srunuta.
Arbhaka me shrunuta. Arbhaka me shrunuta.
Vacho vaha.
Vacho vaha. Vacho vaha.
Sarvata Shivam
Sarvatah Shivam, Sarvatah Shivam,
Vayasyan Pasyata
Vayasyan Pashyata, Vayasyan Pashyata,
Bhutan Kridanto
Mrutan Kridanto, Mrutan Kridanto,
Ma Pramadyata
Ma Pramadyat, Ma Pramadyatya,
Napurapi Vayambala
Napurapi Vayam Bala, Napurapi Vayam Bala,
Atmanotha Priyeshinaha
Atmanorthe Priyeshinaha, Atmanorthe Priyeshinaha,
Guruktamapi Nagrahyam
Guruktamapi na grahyam, Guruktamapi na grahyam,
Yadanarthe Arthakalpanam
Yadanarthe Arthakalpanam,
Yadanarthe
Yadanarthe, Yadanarthe,
Arthakalpanam.
Arthakalpanam, Arthakalpanam.
So the proposition by Prahlada is, even though the gurus are there, but if they are misinterpreting and misguiding you, you should not listen to them. That's exactly what Balachakravarti did it, as I told you. See, he says in this 254 sloka, Guru tamapi nagrahyam. Sukracharya advised Balachakravarti not to listen to, not to stick on to the word he has given, that he will make Bhudanam for the boy, that Vamana Krishna, Vamana Vishnu. And but Balachakravarti quoted only one support. I am Prahlada's grandson. Prahlada has told us, in case the Guru is wrongly advising, is misguiding, you should not listen to him. You should only stick on to the truth. Now let us go to the first one, because he says, Anarthe Arthakalpanam Guravaha Kurvanti. Some gurus will try to make a favorable interpretation, even though it is not intended in the rules. So they try to wrong interpret, and they are not true gurus to you. Who is a true guru? A true guru is one who is able to convince you and put you on the right track. In other words, there is one, Guravaha Santi Vittapaharakaha Bahavaha. Cheppu Saraswati.
Yes, sir.
Guravaha Santi
Gurubaha Santi,
Vittapaharakaha
Vittarapahakara,
Apaharakaha Bahavaha.
Vitta Apahara,
Bahavaha.
Bahavaha.
Kintu Chittapaharakaha Guravaha Viralaha. Kastanga unde for pronounce cheyadam. So
No,
yeah,
I don't have a text now, that's why I'm not able to.
no
follow.
text. I'm just quoting from my head.
Okay.
See, my
Okay.
head is full of so many things. But whenever context demands, because of Saraswati and all of you, that comes out. It's only your prompting that my head is active now. They all learned long back. So my guru was telling, there are hundreds and thousands of gurus who take away your money, your wealth, your property, and your all that. They're all called as Vittapaharakaha. Whatever Vittam you possess, that they rob, and they become rich and famous. But real gurus are very few who will try to captivate, attract, convince your mind and see that you become really elevated and get moksha. So Chittapaharakaha, Vittapaharakaha, you underline. Vittam is money, wealth, property.
Yes.
Chittam is your mind. Who is best Amma? Who is best guru?
Chitta.
They should attract, they should something like Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. You know, Vivekananda was very tough student, he was not attending Ramakrishna's classes.
Hmm.
So I was told that Ramakrishna used to go to Vivekananda's house and teach him some, because he saw future in Vivekananda, not in any other Ananda as much as he saw in Vivekananda.
Hmm.
Therefore, today Ramakrishna Mission is because of Vivekananda, is it not?
Yes.
But for Vivekananda, Ramakrishna was nobody knew him at all. So like that, one Shishya like that would be really rewarding for the Guru. Even Prahlada is also one such a Guru or Shishya to Narasimha Swami. So here you see, he says that Pare Brahmani Anirdesye Bhagavati Akhilatmani Yuktatmani Aphala Asan Apunyasyeva Satkriyaha. So Apunyasya Satkriyaha Iva Aphala Asan. So when you are not able to dedicate yourself with Parabrahma, then all your efforts will turn waste. And moreover, Anirdesye Bhagavati, you cannot definitely know the Mahat or Vibhuti of Mahatma or Bhagavan. Bhagavan's Vibhuti is really a surprising and all wonderful. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidinam. Sadukunavarama Bhagavad Gita, Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidinam. Ascharyavat sunoti. Everything is Ascharya.
Second chapter, Sankhya Yoga.
Sankhya Yoga. Ascharya. So everything is a wonder ridden or surprising. But who is this Paramatma? Though he is Anirdesya, but he is present in Akhila Atmani. He is present in each and every person, because everybody has got Atma, not only the body, which the anatomy describes, but also something more than that is there in our body. And that body is Paramatma. Atmani Atmanam Pasyantam Bhagavantam Apasyatu under. And even Shiva does not depend upon his bhaktas or Abhishekam, because Shiva is Abhisheka Priyaha. So what he does is, he gets extra 2 hands. And over them he will have a pictures. And he will just have a Atma Abhishekam. Like that, what they love, they try to create atmosphere for that. So Yuktatmani Apalasan Apunyasya Satkriyaha. For that, Prahlada will say, Hanta Arbhakaha. Ayayo Arbhakaha, oh boys. He is addressing to his classmates and friends, who are again children like of his age, small boys. So Arbhaka does not mean only boy. All people are children, because they are not Jnanis. Opposite of Gnani is Arbhaka. Arbhaka means very weak limb, not at all strong, either in knowledge or in body. So either in body or knowledge, they are all such people are called Arbhakaha. Oh boys, please listen. And Sarvataha Shivam Vachaha Vaha. Vaha means for you. You please listen. I am giving you advice, instruction, which will be all round prosperity and peaceful and happiness. It has not got any kind of itch or danger that will cause you if you were to listen to this my talk. And again, you please consider Vayasyan Pasyata. Vayasyan means friends. You please look at your own friends. Mrutan, they're all dying. All your friends, or there are many friends of you who died, even though they're enjoying their lifetime. Kridantaha. They're enjoying their physical life, mundane life. Even as they are enjoying their mundane physical life, they are dead. And therefore, my dear classmates, my dear friends, don't endanger like that by yourself, just getting merged into the samsara sukha. So, ma pramadyata, don't pramadam. Pramadam is danger. Don't endanger yourself and don't go into the same stream. That too, kridantaha, you keep on playing. because in play, people are mad. They cannot know themselves. That's why Krida, that's why in Chamakam, Krida Chame, Modas Chame, and Krida is a moda, something like Dharmaraja. He went to the extent of pledging his own wife. The ultimate that he pledged in the dice play was Draupadi, and all these people, the 6 people, 5 people, never said no to Dharmaraja because they believed in Dharma that is there in Dharmaraja. So Draupadi, even though she has undergone so much of torture from Dharmaraja, when Krishna and anybody comes and asks, no, Dharma is seated in my husband. Dharmaraja he is. And therefore, she just obeyed Dharmaraja in all respects as an obedient wife. There is actually a question, Bhishma and Dharmaraja, they are being contrasted in Mahabharata. See, but the Bhishma neglected Dharma, but he stick on to the Vratam. So he just wanted Satyam. Bhishma cared for Satyam, while Dharmaraja cared for Dharma. So therefore, between the two, who is great? Dharmo akhilam vedamulam, dharmameva jayate. And so Satyam and Dharmam, there are two things which are alternate, but when Satyam is completely with Dharma, then there will be Dharma success. But in case of Bhishma, Dharma was not there in Satyam. Therefore, he lost the battle. He was so much miserable in the battleground and he was not able to get rid of it. So there is always a compare and contrast between Dharmaraja and Bhishma, the main characters of Mahabharata. Anyway, I'm going elsewhere. So here it says, Mrutan Kridantaha Maam Pramadyata. They're all playing, they're enjoying. But in enjoyment, people don't know the dangers. You know, when the child is playing, the parents are always worried, hey, be careful, don't run, you'll fall, you'll get injury, you'll be injured. So the boy does not care the body, the child does not care the body, but elders care the body. They're Paramatma. Elders are Paramatma. No, don't jump, don't do, they'll be shouting. But children don't care their body. They just jump. They do all the adventures. Therefore, they said, you have to be very careful. Kridantaha mrutan pasya. All are enjoying the life, but they are dead. They cannot continue the enjoyment. And therefore, you don't be one to get into that kind of soup. So don't get into the sarpam, getting stung by that. And again in 254, he says that na purapi vayam balaha, purapi vayam balaha, na atmanaha hita priyeshinaha. You know, we have got so many janmas. We also had the childhood. We were also small boys, we played. But when we are ardhakas, we were only paying attention for pleasures and pressures of life. And why? Because Atmanaha Priyeshanaha Balaha. They were always interested in selfish ends. If your self is uplifted, if your wants and desires are fulfilled, you are feeling that you are really emancipated. No, because sometimes many people follow their gurus and follow in ditches. That's why we should not follow. What does Guru do? Gurus only guide you in spiritual path. If they are not spiritualistic, but you are there otherwise, you should abandon such gurus. Maybe they are gurus, but you should abandon them. But if you have got that sense of abandoning wrong gurus, you will definitely be on the pathway of spirituality. That's what Prahalada is telling. You cannot completely blind because of the gurus. So, Purapi Vayam Balaha. See, in earlier births, we are also children. But as Balaha, that is not knowledgeable, not having Vedanta Jnana. I told you, Adhyatma Jnana and Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam. What is Darshanam? What is the philosophy? What you want to visualize? you want to visualize the Tattvam, Tattvartham, then you want to have the Atma Jnanam, Adhyatma Jnanam, because Adhyatma means we have got three Atmas are there. You should know who you are, who is seated in you. In Bhagavatam also, in the last chapter, last canto, Parikshit Maharaj puts the question to Shukha Maharshi. I told you, I mean, that's what I mentioned in my Bhagavad Gita talk yesterday, Gita talk, that he put something like Dharmaraja putting question in Vishnu Sahasranamam. At the end, I says, Srutva Dharmana Seshena Pavanan Sahasrasaha. And I heard all dharmas, all are Pavanas. But I want to know that Moksha Dharma. Because Mahabharata is a Moksha Shastra. So, Moksha Dharma, then Vishnu, that Bhishma talks Moksha Dharma and then departs from this world. Like that, here he says that Priyeshanaha, but what you should do is Nagrahyam Guru Tamape, even though Gu means Agnanam, Ru means Rundhati. Normally all gurus must remove your darkness, your jealous, your Vyamoham, your Moham, your etc. Then only they are called gurus. And some gurus are there, they try to misinterpret and lead you in a wrong path. So, Anartha Kalpanam Guruktameva Nagrahyam. So, in this particular section, Prahlada talks about the truth and Vedantic things, and that's exactly it's called Prahlada Gita. What we are going to have in this particular section, he goes on talking Kasyatru, Kaudasinaha, Kim Mitram, Ko Arthaha Atmanaha, Bhavat Swavinaya, Kim Syad, Daivam Sampatu, Vipat Pradam. So Vipat Pradam Sampat and Daiva Pradam Sampat. In the riches that we are having, that's what exactly in Bhagavad Gita, Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. Krishna has given knowledge about Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat to Arjuna and asked him to choose which one he wants. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Prahlada Gita, or Bhishma Gita, and all these Gitas are the songs of spirituality. And in this particular section, we are all going to have the Bhagavad Gita or Prahlada Gita. Forget about Prahlada as a character, but the meaning is Prahlada means you get immense happiness of permanent nature. Khlada is a happiness. Vihlada is little more ahlada, and ultimate ahlada is that Prahlada. That's why in Saundarya Lahari also, Shankaracharya said, when you recite Saundarya Lahari and make Upasana to Devi, what are you going to get? Ahlada Lahari. Ammavardi Saundarya Lahari, Shivudi Ananda Lahari, and Shiva Ananda Lahari and Saundarya Lahari. Saundaryananda, Ananda Saundarya. These two will give for the bhaktas. What does it give to them? Ahladamu. That is permanent happiness. What is permanent happiness? Mukti. What is the mukti? Not to return at all to the world. So, in fact, Bhagavatam, the target of Bhagavatam is to teach and educate and prepare the mind of all the devotees that they have got to elevate themselves. That's exactly what Shukha Maharshi did for Parikshit Maharaja. So first the skandam, last chapters, and also second skandam, the opening cantos will give you the entire essence for which the Bhagavatam has come into existence, because in 7 days, Parikshit Maharaj must be given that must become a Parama Bhagavatottama, so that even the Tatshaka cannot directly approach. Before he came to Parikshit Maharaj, that Tatshaka, Nagaraja, went to Brahma, put his problem before him, how best he can go and sting that Parikshit, who is now elevated, completely filled with Bhagavan Bhakti. How can he meddle him at all? He can't touch him. And then Brahmadeva tells him, no, you can't go as Sarpam. You go in a Brahmin forum and stand before his doors and ask for alms and bhiksha. Then when he ultimately offers so many things and asks you what one, you ask for pranabhiksha. So getting the pranabhiksha from him, then only he becomes serpent and stings. That's what the story goes like. So imagine, nobody can touch. Even Ramaraksha Stotra is also like that. When you are making Ramaraksha Stotram, all negativity will go away. Nobody can touch him. Diseases don't come near him, nor any such kind of things, and he will be absolutely protected by Ramaraksha. So like that, this is Bhagavatam. Today is a wonderful session. Thanks to all of you that we are able to know the purpose, the preparation, and ultimate solution for all the samsara, sarpa, and we do, if at all, we cannot help getting stung. Sarpa means dashta, because you say, even once you infuriate the serpent, how can you infuriate the serpent? Padas prushteva pannagam. Valmiki Maharshi says, to just touch the cobra, it will become so angry. Bhujanga iva kopinaha anta. See, of all the kopam maximum, a serpent, a cobra is supposed to be the top, and it will not. So, padas prushteva, when you touch it, and then it will be very much angry and stung. So, and that will always sting to the feet only, because Vishnu stays there, and feet means the whole body will be affected immediately, and therefore it will not sting any other point of the body, but only the feet. So, ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ ಸರ್ಪ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ feet ante gati in our behavior, in our conduct. So, when we are able to shape our character and conduct, that is, we'll be really protected from kind of dashtas and will be elevated. So thank you very much. We'll stop here. Om Sat Satu.
Om Tat Satu.
Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu.
Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
Sri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu.
Shri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu.
Sarvam Sri Matrucharanaravindarpanamastu.
Sarvam Shri Matrucharanaravindarpanamastu.
Om Tat Satu.
Om Tat Satu.
I wish Anil Gupta and Sita Tumuluri to continue.